The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the Accent Radio Network or the staff, management, and sponsors of this radio station.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America, and to all our ships at sea. Hi, everyone. I'm Jerry Hughes, and welcome to Straight Talk from the Accent Radio Network. Coast to coast across our grand old republic, we welcome you, and we thank you for the tremendous honor, privilege, and pleasure you bestow upon us by allowing us to be a part of your lives, and I do hope you're doing very well today. We are doubly honored this hour, ladies and gentlemen. One, you're allowing us to be with you. Secondly, we're joined by a guest, a man who joined Fox News and the Fox News channel in January 1998. He currently serves as senior judicial analyst. He is the youngest life-tenured Superior Court judge in the history of the state of New Jersey. For 11 years, he served as an adjunct professor of constitutional law at Seton Hall Law School. He has authored books including A Nation of Sheep, Constitutional Chaos, What Happens When the Government Breaks Its Own Laws, and the New York Times bestseller, The Constitution in Exile, How the Federal Government has seized power, by rewriting the supreme law of the land. It is indeed a privilege and high honor to welcome to our program a man many of us in America recognize as a national treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Andrew Napolitano.
Oh,
Judge,
Jerry,
sir,
what
thank you very much for being with us.
wonderful and moving introduction. God bless you, my friend.
God bless you, sir, and the work that you do. And, man, you don't know what kind of difference you're making, sir.
Well, it's
bless
very
you for all
kind
your
to
hard
hear.
work.
Sometimes one feels that one is a lonely voice crying in the wilderness, although there were about 18,000 of those voices in Minneapolis last week, while all my media buddies were on the other side of the river covering the Republican National Convention.
And, Judge, just think there was a time when one man ran around the world saying it's going to rain, and folks said, huh?
Right.
So,
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you do a tremendous, man. God bless you for what you're doing.
You know, I watched the Republican National Convention, and I really wasn't happy with what I saw. Here are the themes that came from Senator McCain and Governor Palin and Senator and Governor Romney and Mayor Giuliani and Governor Huckabee. Safety, security, sovereignty. I could count on one hand, Jerry, the time I heard anyone say freedom.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson and Barry Goldwater and even Ronald Reagan must be spinning in their graves. I mean, there was more Mussolini than Jefferson to the speeches that I heard.
Well, freedom, sir, I would suggest has been exchanged for fascism, socialism, Marxism. It was interesting. Mr. Obama, I guess it was yesterday, suggested that if you earned $250,000 a year, I forget the exact figure, and your neighbor only earned a minimum wage, that you should take your money, some of your money, half your money, and give it to him.
Actually, it was worse than that. He said the government should take it from you, even against
indeed,
your will,
you're correct,
and
right.
give it to that person, was the argument he made to Bill O'Reilly. If he had said, George Bush has paid for the war on a credit card, and if we don't get rid of our debt today, it's going to consume us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason I need to raise taxes. If he had said that, it would have made economic sense. But for him to say he wants to raise taxes to take from the rich to give to the poor, where is that condoned in the Constitution?
And Hillary Clinton in Kissimmee, Florida, yesterday told her audience there that there's one question you must ask yourself before you cast your vote, and that is, what's in it for me? Now, I take that, you can take it a lot of different ways, but she basically went on to say, which candidate is going to treat me the best, give me the most stuff?
Well, I would rather the question where which candidate is going to reduce the government, which candidate is going to keep the Republicans out of my bedroom and the Democrats out of my bank book, which candidate is going to leave me alone, because the essence of freedom is the right to be left alone by the government. Obviously, there are legitimate things that the government must do, and it does have to have some minimal taxing power. But when both John McCain and Barack Obama go along with the federal theft of property in this expropriation of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, two private corporations, taking private debt and visiting it upon the taxpayers. This is outrageous. I mean, what will they take over next? The New York Yankees, because they don't like the fact that they're losing, or Exxon Mobil because the gas is too high? I mean, it's basically the government came in and said to corporate officers, you're gone, and to the board of directors, you're gone, and to shareholders, we now own the stock, and to bondholders, we'll pay you back when we feel like it. We're the government. I mean, the government can't deliver the mail. How is it going to run the two largest banks in the country?
Judge, I was just about betting your days on the bench there, and you heard a lot of cases, but I'll bet you ran up across a situation where you used the old adage of ignorance of the law is no excuse. Sometimes people don't know that they break a law, or they claim they don't know. Let me throw this to you. Is ignorance of our Constitution, ignorance of a Republican form of government, ignorance of the ideologies the founders gave us and the building blocks they gave us to succeed, is the ignorance of that in today's society an excuse for what we have?
No, it's absolutely not. And the answer why is very simple. Because everybody who works for the government, from a school teacher to a governor, from a janitor to the president, takes an oath,
yes,
publicly, verbally, and privately, and in writing, to uphold the Constitution. Governor Palin mocked the Constitution during her acceptance speech. She's taken at least 2 oaths when she became mayor and when she became governor to uphold the Constitution. George W. Bush has been going around the country saying, my first job is to keep you safe. He's wrong. Read the Constitution. His first job is to keep us free. If he keeps us safe but not free, he's not doing his job. And when the Congress, and I just criticized him a few moments ago, so forgive the repetition, thinks that it can bail out anybody it wants, Bear Stearns, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, even though the Constitution says otherwise, it shows clearly that the people in whose hands we have reposed this document, which is the safeguard of our freedom, do not understand it, do not want to follow it, and do not think that they need to follow it. That, in essence,